also in that broadcast meeting with you, you talked about how Puka Nacua being out was going to be a challenge for you and your staff. About how you maybe became a little bit Puka dependent because he's so damn good. And you then have 10 different guys catch a football in this game, including 2 rookies for touchdowns. First time in 5 years the Rams had that. So did you check the box? Did you accomplish what you wanted?
I think it was really cool. I think what ended up happening is sometimes these things that are challenges can be blessings in disguise. And what I mean by that is we're always going to have Puka when he's up as a focal point, but also, hey, let's not in the meantime lose sight of, we've got Puka, we've got Devontae, but we've got these other eligibles that we want to take advantage of. And my dad's talked to me about this before. We always talk about everybody likes being a part of something bigger than themselves, but as long as they feel like their role contributes, and we've got these great players that we want to take advantage of, and I thought that was illustrated by being able to have multiple personnel groupings, multiple guys involved where they've got some plays where they could maybe be the primary in a progression, and then it allows those other guys to be a little bit fresher. Devontae was outstanding with the targets he had, but I also think it's a credit to, hey, he was able to get maybe some snaps off. Otherwise, it'll be the same thing reflected with Puka moving forward. And I was really happy for the guys, and I thought Matthew did a great job of basically just being a great point guard, getting everybody involved, going where the ball should go. And to have that many people involved is a real credit to the depth of our players that we do have, and I'm excited about that moving forward.
Yeah, and in terms of, you also told a story about Jared Verse first 2 weeks, maybe thinking a little bit more than just being natural, and you showed him some footage of last year, right? And
absolutely
right, and your point in that was what with him?
Here's the point. I think sometimes when you're a young guy and you have all this success, you feel like you have to reimagine and really kind of add layers to your game. And in the midst of that, you can almost forget about what allowed you to be you in the first place. That's natural, and the way that you work, there'll be just a natural progression. And so it's all with the right intentions. But I think sometimes it's, hey, remember who you are. Let's see you doing the things that are in alignment with who you need to be. You don't need to make things up. You don't need to add all these different things to your game. Let's understand what makes you great. What are the things that have naturally occurred just based on your work ethic and your approach? And I think sometimes seeing is more powerful than anything we could say. We sat down, we were able to watch some great examples of stuff that he's done at a high clip. And I think it's getting back to, no, don't press, every single snap, 4 to 6 seconds, man, go do your thing and play to the best of your ability, your pre-snap demeanor, the way that you violently attack based on whatever that call is. And he's done an awesome job. He's such a likable guy. When he comes on here, you can see he's got this personality. He never shuts up, but that's who he is all the time. And you love him for that. And I've been really proud of the way that he's responded. He's so coachable. He's so accountable. And he is a great challenge because of how smart he is. But he's really played at a high clip. I think he and Byron Young have really done an outstanding job overall, Rich. And I thought you felt that. And I told him, I said, why are you waiting so long to get that sack out of the way? Why don't you just do it like you did in the Jags game every single game?
Yeah, I know. He first set of downs, he did it. And by the way, since that film session with you, a sack in every single game, including a forced fumble in 3 of them. And I'm glad you brought up Byron Young. I was about to as well. He's the one who's tied with Brian Burns for the most sacks in the league. What about this kid? He doesn't get a lot of run or discussion. He's in year 3, another Les Snead hitting on a draft choice with you guys. What about him? I don't know much about him. Sean?
Yeah, he's a special player. He's a special human. I think Joe Caniglia does such a great job with that group overall, Rich. But really, when you look at the edges of our defense, with Byron and with Jared, I think they play off of one another. They're like the Bash brothers. They're always together. But I think there's a good complement. They're both really physical players, but BY has this great set of athleticism. I mean, he's a legitimate 4-4 guy. He can, he's got an understanding of where does he fit within some of the different movements. And I think we're really rushing 4 as 1, or if we're sending more. And he's just made the most of his opportunities. I think he's played consistent. Like, he's gotten those sacks, but he's playing really productive in both phases, to stop the run, to rush the passer. He does some different things when he drops into coverage based on some simulated pressures or overloads that we'll bring. And he's really played consistent, and he's one of those guys that when you spend time with him, you can't help but love him. And really, I feel that way about both he and Verse.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.